What's good with y'all, man? We got another video. You know what I'm saying? It's been a little minute since I made a video. It's been a few days since I made a video. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of miss making videos. Well, I haven't made a video in a few days, right? So, I went to New York. I got to go to New York for some church things for the organization or the church that I'm a part of. You know, it has this thing called CYA, which is like Christian Youth Organization or something. I don't know what the A stands for, honestly. Association probably is what it stands for. And so yeah, I went to New York for about a week or so, a little less than a week. And yeah, I got to do a bunch of cool things, got to meet a bunch of new people, got to congregate with a bunch of believers, a bunch of people with the same beliefs as me. And I got to evangelize. You know, I haven't really ever done that before, but I got to do that for the first time, you know, go out and like preach the gospel to like random people. That was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a good time. I just got back today, and I'm gonna be telling y'all my experience kind of about that. Why I think it's so important to have, you know, events like this, and why it's so important to be connected to the church, you know. And I'm gonna tie that into scripture, give y'all a Bible verse, and share with y'all the Bible verse and explain it to y'all the way that my pastor explained it to me. You know, it's very different than, you know, how this story is normally taught. And so, yeah, we're gonna get into that. So yeah, this verse, this is the Good Samaritan story. You know, everybody's heard this story. Everybody knows about a Good Samaritan. And most churches, when you hear this, when they teach this story, the Good Samaritan, whatever, they be telling you that you're the Good Samaritan. You know what I'm saying? But that is not so. That is not so. That is not what we teach here in the gospel-centered, you know, biblically centered thing we doing, right? So yeah, I'm gonna read for y'all, and I'm gonna explain how this ties into what I was speaking about. Okay. So Luke 10 verse 30. And Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Right? So this dude right here, he got jumped and beat up, and they took all his stuff, they whooped him. You know what I'm saying? And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Okay? So we got a priest walking by, right? A priest is someone who's looked at as like a good person. A priest is like, you know what I'm saying? You look at a priest, or you look at like a pope or something in this world, you be thinking like, oh, that's a holy person. But what does he do? What does this pope, this holy, this good person do? He passes by him. He leaves this man, you know. He has no compassion on this dude who was hit by robbers, right? Let's keep reading. And likewise, a Levite, when he was past the place, came and looked at him and passed by on the other side. Another, you know, a Levite. This is Levites were like one of the tribes, right? So these looked at as like good, holy people. What does he do? He passes this man, you know, has no compassion for the man, just keeps going on about his way, keeps going on about his business. No one really cares, right? But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave it to the host, and said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of these thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among thieves? Okay. So boom. What does this mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, most people teach this is about, oh, we gotta be the Good Samaritan. We gotta be the person who helps others out, right? And yeah, that's true. We should do that. right? But that's not our job, you know. A lot of times when we read the Bible, we have the natural tendency to read it as if we're the main character, right? But the truth is, this Good Samaritan that it's talking about is Jesus Christ, right? Jesus Christ is the Good Samaritan in this story, and we are the person who is hit by robbers, you know what I'm saying? We are the people who are, you know, I don't know about y'all, but when I received the gospel, when I first came across biblical salvation, the true message of the Bible, I was like this man hit by thieves and robbers, you know, half dead, right? I was stuck in my loneliness, my depression, you know what I'm saying? My suicidal thoughts, my drug addiction, whatever it may be, right? And I was half dead, just like this man here. And what brought me out of that, what was the only thing that could really bring me out of that, help me live a happier, better life, is the gospel, is the Bible, is Jesus, essentially, right? So boom. Now this is the next part of this verse I wanted to explain, because this is what my pastor was telling me about. What does it mean to be brought to the end, right? So where does it say this? And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn. Okay, so this inn, right, represents the church. You know what I'm saying? So once you have the true gospel, once you receive the true gospel, you need to be poured into. You need to be, you know what I'm saying, taken care of, right? And this is done through the church, through the servants of God, right? So what you need to do, if you have received true biblical salvation, or, you know, maybe some of y'all watching this video already have salvation, right? So this inn, right, is the church. We need to go to the church. We need to stay close to the church. And this is how we're going to grow and learn and be, you know what I'm saying, satiated in our faith. You feel me? So this is something that I got to kind of see come to fruition over this past week, right? Because my church is a church that is, it's a church that is part of a bigger congregation, right? Is one church of many churches, right? But the thing is, my church is very small compared to these other churches, you know. Throughout this event, I got to meet people from all over. People from all over America, from different states, literally from all of the states pretty much. California, Texas, freaking Colorado, Florida, everywhere. People from all over the world, you know what I'm saying, or all over America. I got to meet new people, right? And shoot, what was I gonna say? Hold on one second. Okay, yeah. Hold on, I'm forgetting again. Okay, so yeah, by doing this, I was able to it was able to like help grow my faith, right? Because sometimes I feel like I'm on an island, right, with my faith. You know, my church is small. I don't have a lot of other people my age, especially, right? I'm basically the only one that goes to my church that is my age. So a lot of times I feel a little bit lost. I feel like a little bit like, I don't know if what I'm doing is the right thing, or sometimes I feel a little bit crazy, like I'm the only one with this gospel. You know, am I tripping? You know what I'm saying? But through this event, I was able to meet a bunch of new people, and I was able to see like, okay, I'm not tripping, right? There's other people who have lived the same experience as me, or not the same experience, but similar experience, and understand like that the gospel is the only thing that really satiates us as human beings, right? So fellowship, church, all these things are necessary things that we need to do after we receive salvation, or we're just going to struggle. We're going to be lost in our thoughts. And, you know, spiritual life is very hard to do on your own. It's not even hard. It's not something you can do on your own. You need people above you to watch out for you, look after you, or like pastors, right? And you need brothers and sisters to fellowship with, so you can see that like you're not tripping, right? And so yeah, I got to do that, and I was able to see, you know, all these people, we all have different stories. We're all different people. You know, we've all lived completely different lives, you know. a lot of times I see some of them and I'm just like, I don't relate to them, you know. But the thing is that we all relate to is something that we all have in common, is we've tried to live life our own way, and we all failed. You know what I'm saying? We all tried to live a worldly lifestyle, whatever that may be. Some of them went out, they made lots of money, they sold drugs or whatever it may be. Some of them, you know, they have families, and then they still not happy. Like, what I'm saying is, we all have these different lives, but it all comes back to, you know, this feeling of emptiness, loneliness, voidness without the church, without, you know, without the gospel. You know what I'm saying? So for me, talking to people like that really renewed my spirit, really refreshed my spirit to see, like, man, I'm not the only young person who thinks like this. I'm not the only young person who, you know, cares to speak about deep things, you know. I don't know about y'all, bro, but like, when I interact in this world, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times this world is so surface level, and I just get tired of that. You know, I get tired of having surface level conversations. I get tired of, you know, just like, oh, what did you do yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know about y'all, but I be getting tired of surface level BS, you know what I'm saying, conversations. I like to have deep conversations. I like to have conversations about things that really matter, because this is what I think about. It's how I think. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, interacting in this world, you know, you just going throughout this world. Oh, what did you do yesterday? Oh, yeah, we got lit. We did this, whatever. Or, yeah, oh, yeah, I made this money, whoop-de-whoop, or whatever it may be. That doesn't do it for me. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't satisfy me. Like, that's played out. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is played out. All that stuff is just like, I don't know. It's just like, it don't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but the church does something for me. You know what I'm saying? The gospel does something for me. The gospel renews my spirit, you know? Being able to talk about things that, like, okay, like, you know, that actually matter, which is, you know, life after death for me, right? What happens when we pass away? These are the deep questions that I care about. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone is just stuck in this loop of just, you know, like, trying to throw that away, trying to throw away their own mortality. Everyone lives their life as if they're just gonna live forever, you know. And to me, that's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna live forever. We all gonna have to, like, pass away one day. I don't know, like, I don't know about y'all. I'm just a little weird, bro. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm crazy, right? Maybe I'm tripping. But, like, yeah, when I think about these things, I'm just like, man, what's wrong with this world? Like, I feel like I don't fit into with this world. Like, it's like everyone's just fine with just like, oh yeah, we gonna fucking, sorry, excuse my language, but we just gonna do whatever. We gonna just live our life, and yeah, we gonna die one day. That's it. It's like, what do you mean that's it? Like, no, like, I need answers. I need answers to these questions. You know, these deep questions. I'm not okay with just work a job, get old, have children, die. Who knows what's next? Oh, find out when I get there. No, bro, find out when I get there. No, I'm not with that. So yeah, the thing is, you don't gotta find out when you get there, okay? Because the Bible speaks about all these things. The Bible has answers to all these questions. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole point of Christianity. It's the whole point of salvation. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, for us to be really satiated and renewed in our spirits, you know what I'm saying, we have to congregate with other believers. We have to have these deep conversations and meet with like-minded people. You know, even if we're different in some aspects, at the end of the day, we're all the same in the aspect of, like, okay, we have these same questions, we have these same curiosities, these same wonders, these same feelings of just like, man, what's the point? What's the point of any of this? Because the point is, there is no point to any of this without God. There's no point to go get a great job and make a lot of money and have a great family or whatever. None of that stuff matters, bro. Like, people say I'm weird for that or whatever, or like it's morbid to think like that. No, it's not, bro. It's not weird or morbid or whatever. Like whatever people be saying. No, it's not. It's true. It's reality. We're all gonna pass away. We need to go. We need to know what happens next, or else, you know what I'm saying. We just run around like chickens with our heads cut off. You know what I'm saying. That's not enough for me. It might be, if that's enough for you, okay, go ahead, live your life. I don't care. You know what I'm saying. But for me personally, I need to be spiritually satisfied, or I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be a happy person to be around. And so yeah, how are we spiritually satisfied? Through the gospel, through Jesus Christ, through salvation. Because through Jesus Christ, this is the only way that we're able to be 100% sure. We know for surely we go into heaven. If there is a heaven and hell exists right after this, how can we know for sure? Unless we have a standard outside of ourselves to know whether or not we're gonna get to where we want to go after this. I don't know about y'all. I'm trying to go to heaven after this. You know what I'm saying? And people talk about like, oh, I don't know, like heaven and hell. I don't know if that's real. I mean, okay, but it's like, when we look at this world, I think it's clear as day there's evil in this world. It's clear as day there's love in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like you have love for your family. You have love for your people, right? We're all capable of love. But we're also all capable of hate. And we've all seen hateful, evil things in this world. So it's like, okay, so what happens? How do we displace what happens next? Where does the good and where does the bad go? And this is where the Bible draws a line. This is where it flips everything on its head, because through the Bible, through the commandments, Jesus says that we're all under sin and we're all evil and you know what I'm saying, deserving of hell, right? But that's why people can't accept the gospel, because they don't think they're evil. People think they're good, you know what I'm saying? People think, no, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to heaven because I'm a good person, right? And yeah, I mean, if that works for you, that works for you. But that never worked for me, because I wasn't a good person, you know what I'm saying? I tried to be a good person, but I failed. You know, I did a lot of bad things, and it never really worked out for me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to ever have that assurance of, oh, I'll make it to heaven. I'll be like, I hope so, but probably not. You know what I'm saying? The way I live my life, I'm probably not getting to heaven until I heard the true gospel, you know, which is that it's not up to us to get to heaven. It's up to Jesus to get to heaven. It's up to, you know, his finished work, his blood, for us to get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? We cannot enter heaven based off, you know what I'm saying, our own efforts, our own goodness, because we have no goodness inside us as humans. You know, our goodness is very fictional. It's very fake. It's very transactional. It's not real, bro. Our goodness is very, our own self-goodness is very, it's just phony, bro. Humanistic love is phony. But God's love is everlasting. God's love is true. You know what I'm saying? And so this message is what was able to change my life. And this message is what keeps me going, and what, you know, truly satisfies me in life, satiates me in life. And so if we want to, you know what I'm saying, stay satiated, we have to be close to the church. We have to keep receiving the words of God from either the servants, right? Or, yeah, from the servants at church or from online. You know, we don't all have biblically centered churches. So what can you do if you don't have a biblically centered church? Okay, watch my videos. Okay, there's other people, you know, watch Johnny Chang's videos. Watch anybody's videos, you know, anybody who speaks about faith. They're able to, you know what I'm saying, receive this renewal of your spirit, right? And so, yeah, that's all I gotta say. We get into the 20-minute mark, so I'm about to end the video. But yeah, bro, we need to go to the end. We need to go to church, and our lives will be a lot happier, a lot better, a lot more fulfilled. We'll live a lot more fulfilling lives connected to the church, connected to the gospel. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you watched the video, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you for watching the video. You a real one. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.